Yes, today it is time for our Own Again show here on social media. Thank you for joining. Those of you who are joining us for the first time, I want you to know that I am Gersha Porter. I am a realtor, business owner, entrepreneur, wife, mother, business owner, coach, many hats that I wear here in the Baltimore metropolitan area. And I eliminate confusion for buyers by giving them key strategies to unlock resources to purchase their dream home. And you can search for your dream home at porterpremierhomes.com. Now, the domain that you see going across the bottom is a preview for my upcoming new website. I'm so excited. It should be ready in a couple of weeks. So everybody will just be going to one place now, which is gershaporter.com, where you can search for your dream home, or you can work with me to own again. Look out for that. It's coming real soon. And that's why I now have that domain for you guys to use as one place to get all of your services. So today we do have a topic. We're going to talk about 11 ways to prepare your listing for their red carpet moment. And before we start, I just want to see if we can get a few more folks to hop on live. It is, I think, around 75 degrees outside today. So many folks are probably taking advantage of the vitamin D that you can get today. I had an opportunity to get out, run around a little bit, enjoy some sunshine today. So if you didn't get a chance yet, please do sneak out. The sun is still up here in Baltimore. So welcome again to our weekly live show, Own Again. And yes, we're going to talk as we do every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. My job is to give you information, and some inspiration. So if you have plans to buy, if you have plans to sell and then buy, if you have plans to relocate and buy, if you have plans to buy as an investment, this is the right place. You are in the right place, because what I want to do is to continue to give you valuable information as you move forward in whatever plans you have in the world of real estate. So today, as I mentioned, yes, we're going to talk about 11 ways to prepare your listing for its red carpet moment. I want to stop for a minute. There's a lot of lingo in real estate. And one of the words that we use in real estate is listings. And as realtors, we use that word a lot. A listing is a home for sale. Okay, so as a realtor, we'll call it a listing because it is listed in the multiple list system, right? So you've heard of MLS. That's another piece of lingo that we use, the MLS. That's the multiple listing service. That is the huge portion on the internet that we access as realtors, that we can find every house that's for sale in our market. Okay. And if a house is for sale, it is listed. So when we say how to prepare your listings for sale, we are referring to homes that are listed. So today, I am going to be using information that I gathered from one of our industry news medium, Inman, and it was actually written by a realtor. He is the lead, the CEO of a team. His name is Carl Medford. So I want to give Carl credit. He was speaking to realtors, and today I'm going to take this information and speak to you as a seller to be, or as a buyer, because you're going to be looking for this same information. The seller's going to do all these things to get their property ready for you, red carpet ready. And you as a buyer, you're going to be looking for these kinds of things because you only want to purchase those properties that are on the red carpet. Okay, so let's dive in. So the first thing that oftentimes our sellers want to do is they want to get an inspection report. So whether you have lived in a property 1 year, 5 years, 10 years or more, you may not really know the health of the property that you're in. And what do I mean by that? When something goes wrong, you get it fixed. But if nothing went wrong, you may not really know what condition it's in. So if you haven't had a problem with your heating, your air conditioning system, if you hadn't had a problem with your cooktop, if you haven't had a problem with your oven, you just figure everything is fine. But everything may not be fine. I kind of use an inspection report similar to a physical. You know, we're fine. We go for our annual physical. They do some tests, and boom, they find out that we may have a health condition that's new that popped up since our last physical, or that they have gotten worse. Okay, so that's exactly what an inspection report will do for you if you are selling your property. It will give you the peace of mind to know that everything's okay, just like an annual physical might. Or it may let you know that there's some things that you want to address. And you want to address them before the house is on the market, because what's going to happen? The seller is going, I'm sorry, the buyer is probably going to have a property inspection, or a home inspection is what you hear it referred to. So if you are going to sell your home, you should consider getting an inspection report. We actually call them in our area a pre-listing inspection. And that will give the seller an idea of anything that may need to be repaired, so that they can address it ahead of time, so that their home is red carpet ready and it is in tip top shape. Okay, so that is number one, an inspection report. And I'm just going to add this too. In the market here in Baltimore, properties are flying off the market. 2 days, 3 days, they're gone. It hits the market. There might be 12 showings in one day, 12 showings the next day. We're very limited in how long we can even show a property when we make an appointment as a realtor. It's usually like a 30-minute window. And so agents are in there back to back to back. So most of the time, offers have been coming in, no inspections. Buyers have been waiving the inspections. Now, there's some buyers, they're just comfortable. They take a look at the home. They use a visual inspection while they're in there. And I talked about those types of things before when you're going to look at a property. But if the seller can provide a pre-listing inspection report and show that they may have made some repairs since that report, you're talking about a property that now is going to be super attractive to a buyer, because they're going to know, one, the seller had it inspected, and two, they corrected anything that came up on the report. So if you want to get your house red carpet ready, this is one of the ways that you might want to consider. Okay. Number two, property preparation. So you say, what do you mean property preparation? Well, if you want your property to be red carpet ready, you're going to want to make sure that your property is showing in its best light. Those of you who are on right now, I'm going to take a look at some of the comments. Hey, Joe, thanks so much for joining. I appreciate you being a part of our Own Again tribe. So tell me, in terms of properties being prepared, what are some of the things that you may expect that a seller will do when a buyer comes through to take a look? What are the areas that buyers are usually focusing in on today when they tour homes? The number one area of the property that most buyers are looking at is the kitchen. So you want to make sure your kitchen is in tip-top shape. Any improvements that you want to do, you want to take the time to do those in the kitchen. The next area is typically the bathrooms. Okay, if there's any improvements you can do in the bathrooms, do those as well. The third and fourth areas, probably equally important, is paint and flooring. So if you have carpet, you want to either shampoo the carpet, stretch the carpet if it's needed, but ultimately put some new carpet in there. Paint, you want to have a fresh coat of paint everywhere in the house. Paint, as you know, is one of the least expensive things you can do to prepare your home for the market, and it has huge, huge dividends on how your home will appear. So definitely consider preparing your property. I just had some sellers who put their home on the market, and we provide a list for our clients of what they need to do to prepare their homes for the market. And I said, please clear off all countertops, the kitchen, the dressers, everywhere. When the photographer came, you talk about there was not one item on any surface in the home. It looked like a model home, and this was an occupied property. So the picture you have here, you can see that's a property that probably no one lives in. You can tell if you've been looking around, there are a lot of homes that are staged, and you can tell no one lives there. But when it's an occupied property and it shows so well that it looks like a model, you have a seller who is serious about selling their home. So prepare that property. The third way you want to prepare your listing or your home so that it is red carpet ready is the disclosure package. So when buyers are out and they're looking for a home and they're ready to make an offer, we as realtors need to pull the disclosures and provide that to the buyer so they can review it before they submit an offer. So you say, what is a disclosure packet? Disclosures vary from state to state and even jurisdictions. Like Baltimore City has different disclosures to Baltimore County, to Anne Arundel County, to Harford County. So what happens when a disclosure package is prepared by the seller? It may include something that we help them with, which is to pull their actual deed, the title work to make sure it's pretty free and clear. We want to verify who really owns that property. A hiccup could be that the seller tells you they own the property, but when you pull the deed, there are actually two names on there, and one of the individuals may be deceased. So we need to make sure that we have death certificates, that everything is as clear as it can be before it hits the market. Something else that's common in a disclosure package for properties that were built prior to 1978 is a lead disclosure. So in the state of Maryland, all sellers are required to complete that document if their property was built before 1978. Now we have a lot of beautiful homes on the market that have been fully renovated. They still were built before 1978. So we're going to look for that disclosure form in the packet we received to provide to our buyers. So those are some of the things you want to consider. If there have been any upgrades, the seller may give you a list of what was upgraded and the year that it was upgraded. If there are any instructions for writing the offer, sometimes when the contract is prepared by the buyer's agent, they use the public record that shows who owns the property. That may not be accurate. And I'll tell you, I was on a meeting yesterday that was facilitated by a title company. Baltimore City and Baltimore County right now, they're about 2 to 3 months behind in registering new deeds, new deeds. And so it's not reflecting who the current owner is. Okay. So depending on the jurisdiction, depending on whether it was registered quickly or in a timely fashion, or if the county or the city even got to it at this point, that information may not be correct. So the seller's agent usually will provide so that the offer is written with the right seller's name on there as well. So those are a few things. Home warranty. A home warranty is a really key piece to include. I encourage all my sellers to offer a home warranty when they sell their property or once it's listed. What that home warranty does is it usually covers a lot of the mechanical systems in the property: electrical, heating, plumbing, the appliances, ceiling fans, doorbells, things of that nature. It actually covers the property when it is on the market so that the seller has coverage. And then when the buyer buys it, it's usually in place for at least a year. Could be a little longer, but at least a year when the buyer buys it. And that is another way that sellers can make their property super attractive, is by offering this home warranty to their buyers. So this is all included when the disclosures are sent over to prepare the offer. Number 4, supplemental documents. So you say, what could supplemental documents be? Let me take a peek here on my list. As I mentioned, if the property is listed by an LLC, so if it's a limited liability corporation that is selling the property, those documents may be available to show you the members of the LLC so that you understand whoever is signing is a member of the LLC. Earlier I mentioned if there is a trust, so that the person who is, or the individual that's selling the home, their home may be in a trust. I actually had a seller a couple of years ago. Her property was in a trust. And so, of course, there are documents that accompany that. to show that it is legally in a trust. And so that is disclosed to the title company who's going to help facilitate that. So, as an outstanding listing agent, such as myself, we make sure we gather all of those supplemental documents. So just now, I see a question, and this is a great question, Josephine, about a lead inspection and who does that. So we're talking about preparing a home for the market. Some sellers, if their home was built prior to 1978, they may have had lead testing done before. Lots of individuals who either had home daycares in their property probably had lead testing. If the property was a rental property, they probably had lead testing done, because that is one of the requirements to list a house for rent if it was built prior to 1978. So those are two of the occasions where the seller may actually have documentation regarding testing that was done in the property to determine if there's lead or not, and or the report from that testing, okay? And that testing is done by a licensed lead inspector, okay? There are individuals who do home inspections, and there are individuals who have been trained and who are certified to do lead inspections, okay? And so when you see a lead report, it is usually done by somebody who is highly qualified to be able to do that. So that could be a part of the disclosure package if that property has been tested for lead or there's some reports about lead testing. Great, great question. So we are on number five. Number five, home warranty. Kind of skipped, talked a little bit about a home warranty. In our area, a lot of sellers will. It's not a necessity. It is something that I encourage my clients to do, is to provide a home warranty to the buyer. But as I mentioned earlier, these home warranties, they're limited. They're usually for about a year. But it's nothing like moving into a property, and I don't care how new something looks, you know it was man-made. What does that mean? It will break. So there's nothing like the sense of comfort to know that you have purchased a home, and if in the third week you tried to turn on the oven and it doesn't work, you now can call the home warranty company. And traditionally, the home warranty companies, they kind of work like an HMO. So what will happen is there's an 800 number. The new homeowner will call that 800 number. You'll open up a claim, let them know there's something wrong with your oven, and then they would give you vendors that participate in their home warranty program who will come out, make the repair, and they will only accept a small amount, which is a deductible, $75 or $100. That covers both parts and labor. Okay. Now, there's another home warranty that's on the market now, and I actually just signed up a property, and we're going to see how it works. You can actually now pick your own contractor. So these warranties typically cost somewhere between around $450 and $550 for a year. It's purchased by the seller for the buyer. It begins the first day that the buyer purchases the home. But these warranties now allow the buyer or the homeowner to actually select their own contractor. So if they know a plumber, they're going to go ahead, call the claim in, get a claim number, and when the plumber shows up, they get on the phone with the home warranty company, and they could pay them right then and there via credit card. So the home warranty business has evolved, and a lot of sellers prefer that because they have a plumber, they have an electrician they'd like to use, they have somebody who's been servicing their heating, air conditioning, ventilation system. So that is something now that is in place, so that you don't have to use the contractors that have been engaged by the home warranty company to provide your services. Okay, so that home warranty, we put those in place even on the seller's property. So when I list a property for sale, it covers the seller on a number of different systems in the property until they sell it. So it's really a great peace of mind. So that's the fifth way that you can prepare your home to make sure that it is red carpet ready. Okay. Number 6, staging. And I think all of my home browsers love to see homes that are staged. They look pretty immaculate. They look perfect. furniture is well balanced. There's not a whole lot of clutter. And that's because the property has been staged. Now, I recently had the opportunity to list a property that looked like it was staged, but it was actually the owner's furniture and it just looked beautiful. So there was no staging required. But staging could be removing items, it could be adding items. I've had a listing before where we just added a bed head to, I'm sorry, a headboard, a headboard to the owner's bed. And it just turned it in from a regular bedroom to a luxury bedroom. The stager provided some beautiful throws that were more luxury oriented. The stager provided an area rug. So the furniture belonged to the owners, but the accessories were brought in by the stager. Sometimes you have an empty room and we just stage that one room. Sometimes it's an entirely empty property. So I do have a staging partner that I work with. She'll come in and do a staging consultation to give the seller an idea of some things that are recommended to be done and whether or not a staging package in terms of furniture or partial items are needed. So that's another piece. And just generally, sellers can help with staging too, just by decluttering, removing personal items like degrees and pictures that are on the wall. All of that helps to make your property look red carpet ready. So excellent question. What is the cost of a stager? So now you know. I like to tell people you can't sell your house for free. Okay, so you do pay for marketing, and depending on the package that you even select, let's say with your realtor, such as me, it could be included, so there is no cost to the seller, or it could be a la carte, okay, and the seller would pay. So I'll let you know, oftentimes 3 rooms of furniture for 60 days, so it's for a period of time, it's just not a week. So when you sign a contract to have your property staged, it's usually for about 60 days. And in this market, your house is selling in a week, but the staging furniture continues to stay there for a period of time until it settles. And so the period of time, it's usually around 60 days. So for about 3 rooms of furniture, a living room, a dining room, and probably the bedroom on a vacant property is around $1,200 to $1,500. Right? So that runs you what? Around $400 a room. There is some light staging. So if the property is vacant, the stager may come in and put accessories in the kitchen, on the countertop, rug, some dish towels. They may put a few things in each of the bathrooms. They may put a table here or there and no big furniture. And that's called light staging. That may run less than $500, depending on the size of the home and how many areas. I have a client now, she had such a beautiful backyard that the stager actually put the cutest little bistro table out there. And what it does is it creates a feeling when a buyer comes in and they walk out on the deck and they're like, I can see myself sitting here drinking my morning coffee or sipping my evening wine. Now, y'all know I like wine. So that might be the experience and the vision that a buyer has when they walk out to that deck and they see that bistro table. So staging just doesn't fill up an empty house. It helps to create a feeling. It sometimes helps to create a feeling of luxury, especially when we're talking about the owner's suite or the primary bedroom. Luxury is also felt sometimes when you go into the primary bathroom. The accessories that are put around there just gives an entire feeling to the buyer as they walk through that property. And that's why staging is something that sellers really want to consider if their property is completely vacant, if they have empty rooms, or if their furniture isn't as updated and contemporary as homes are today. So I have had one client move all of their furniture out into a storage unit because they wanted to keep their furniture for the next home. And the stager brought in contemporary, clean line, simple furniture because that is what sells. So if you're out there on the app, so you can go to my app, homesnap.com, Gersha Porter, you can search for homes, and I'll make sure I drop that in the link as well, or you can go to my website, and I'll make sure to put that here. You can go to porterpremierhomes.com and you can search for homes. When you go there, you'll have an opportunity to see how beautiful most of the homes in the market are. So staging is number 6. All right. Number 7, professional pictures. Now, this is a big one. Why professional pictures? Because professional pictures take into consideration the various angles in a property. I'm going to show you, pull out a little prop here. This is a home that I just listed last Friday. It went on the market Friday. First showings were Saturday. And these pictures are amazing because, as you can see in this top picture, a professional picture, you would see the ceiling and the floor. That's how wide angle the lens is of the photographer who takes the picture. So sometimes you'll look online and you'll see pictures that are horizontal, very narrow, and black on both sides. You know what they used. They used a cell phone. If you are putting your most expensive asset in the hands of a professional to sell it, shouldn't they use a professional photographer? Yes, they should. And that is an expense that we as realtors take on when we market your property. We promise that we will use professional, I do, that we will use professional photographers so that you will have professional pictures so that your home will be presented in the best light. So professional pictures is another way number 7, in which you can prepare your home for its red carpet moment. Number 8, 3D tours. I did have the privilege of doing a 3D tour recently, and I'll make sure to drop it in the chat. This particular property is sold. It sold last November in the Prince George's County area. And I was tickled because they actually got a huge package. Now, this property had 6 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, theater room, home office, sunroom. It was a large property. So the larger the property, these 3D tours really help consumers, possible buyers, get a sense of the floor plan and kind of walking through. So a 3D tour, and I'll make sure to drop a link for you so you'll see what it looks like, will help to get that property red carpet ready. And a lot of these tips I'm sharing with you as sellers really benefit the buyers because we are still in a pandemic. There are buyers who want to be so sure about a property and that it's the right one for them before they actually knock on the door and enter the property. And this is why all of these, whether it's the disclosures, whether it's the home warranty, whether it's the pictures, whether it's the 3D tours, whether it's the staging, all of these factors come into play when you're selling your house and a buyer is trying to decide whether they are going to venture out to take a look at it in person. Okay. So number 9, drone shots. Now, depending on how large your property is, a drone shot will give a buyer an idea of the proximity of the home to any amenities, whether it's a trail, whether it's a shopping center or grocery store, because it is giving an aerial view of where the home is, its relationship to other houses. Because, when you drive up to a house, you really don't know how far the one is behind it. You can see to the left and the right sometimes, but on the much larger lots, it's hard to tell. But a drone photographer, and that's that little thing that like flies in the sky and it's sort of remote control, they actually take pictures. So drone shots will give larger properties the ability to be showcased from the sky. Okay. Number 10, video. I will make sure to drop an example of video as well. Sometimes in our multiple list system, they allowed us, due to COVID, to use our own cell phones now to do videos. And so we don't have to necessarily use a professional photographer for video any longer. That used to be the requirement. But just because buyers want to make sure it's the right property before they venture out, We were allowed last year as realtors to just use our cell phone and kind of walk through. I did that actually on Saturday. It was on my Instagram stories. I walked through a property that just hit the market so that you could get a sense of what it's like to come through the front door, make a left, make a right, etc. And that's what videography will do as well. So I'll make sure to drop that in the chat. But sometimes videography can also just be the still pictures, and it's just going over and over and over again, kind of in a carousel. So you can understand from living room to dining room to kitchen to family room. So you'll see videos done that way as well. So that is number 10. And number 11 is online access. Now, I know many of you, you have no intentions to buy a home or sell a home anytime soon, but everybody loves to look at real estate. So folks who aren't even on the market or about to get on the market, they usually have 1 to 2 apps on their phone. They want to know what's going on with the neighbors. They want to know what's going on over in the next neighborhood. And that's important. You need to understand what's going on around you. And real estate is one of the things that shows you what's going on around you. A lot of consumers, they're not even in the market. They know how fast houses are selling. Why? Because they happen to see it on an app. They know what the homes in their neighborhood are valued because they see it on an app. So online access is where we market our properties that we're selling, the listing. So if your home is on the market, you want to find out the agent that you're working with who's going to help you sell your property. Where are they marketing your property? How many websites are there on? Okay. So right now, if you go and Google, and I tell this to folks who are inquiring all the time, they say, hey, I saw a house at 222 Main Street. I said, just Google it. Because typically you can find it on Google. So that could be the first place you may want to start if you don't have an app on your phone. Just Google an address, and more than likely it will come up. So consumers want access to homes online. We all walk around with cell phones and tablets and laptop computers. We want to know what's going on. So online access is the 11th way to prepare your property for its red carpet debut. We want to make sure that it is being projected in the best way possible. So those are the 11 ways to prepare your home for its red carpet moment. Because guess what? Although the market is hot, if your property doesn't show red carpet ready, that will be one of the properties that you wonder, my property's been on the market 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, hasn't sold. If you have any questions, please drop it in the chat. I'm going to move over real quick to Facebook and see if I see any questions that I may have missed. Somebody who may not be using StreamYard, but definitely after I get off live, if you have any questions, I will definitely be coming back and just drop hashtag replay. Once again, my name is Gersha Porter. I am the CEO of Porter Premier Homes, where we eliminate confusion for buyers by giving them key strategies to unlock resources to buy their dream home. And I'm excited every week to come here to you on our Own Again program to give you valuable information as you make decisions about buying a home, selling a home. Definitely share this video with your friends and family. If you're on Facebook right now, please share it with your personal page. And if you are already in our Own Again group, please do reach out to me if you have any questions. Let me see real quick if there was anything on my comments. Alrighty. I will look back to see. I just want to remind you that we do have a virtual wine tasting coming up. My wine group, we're called the Divine Wines team, and we feature about 5 different wines coming up on the 27th, this Saturday at 7 o'clock. So if you've never had an opportunity to participate in a virtual wine tasting, please do message me so we can talk more about it. We've picked 5 wines for you to sample. You can sample just one or all 5. And just this past weekend, we had a company we work for, Boise, had its annual retreat. It was 3 days. We even had John Legend perform on Sunday evening. And we're just so excited to be able to bring quality wines to you. And so if you're interested in learning more about it, we have some new products coming out. We have some new flights that only include 2 bottles of wine. And you can learn more about wine from the privacy of your own home. You can jump in with a small group of us. And if you'd like to learn more about that, please do reach out to me. Once again, join us in our Facebook group if you want to own again. And you can find that group at gershaporter.com. Book a call with me if you want to own again. If you are currently a tenant and you used to own a home, contact me. Schedule a call. I want to help you get back to your greatness of owning a home again. Reminders, every Wednesday at 5 o'clock, I'll be here for our Own Again Facebook Live, and I am still very involved in the 1,000 Black Families Initiative. If you know anybody who is challenged with their credit and they're ready to get in and get qualified in 90 days or less and purchase a home with some lenders who have been identified to give them 1% of the purchase price of their home back, we can help get you connected. So reach out to me. I do have a link here. Don't worry about the link. Reach out to me and I'll get you to 1,000 Black Families. Once again, if you haven't liked or followed our Facebook page, please do so. You'll know every time we're going live, whenever we post new information that's relevant to the real estate market. Thank you again. Let's see if I missed any comments. Awesome. Thank you, Facebook user. I appreciate you joining us this evening. Next time, please do click and let StreamYard hit your ID so I'll know who you are. And don't forget, check back again. I'm going to drop some links to the 3D tour, the video tour, so you can kind of see what it looks like. If you're thinking about using any of these services coming down the pike to sell your home, or if you'd like to suggest it to somebody who you know is, and if they don't have a realtor who's ready to work for them to get their home sold quickly, please do. I have lots of seller clients who will be happy to talk to you about the amazing job that we provide here at Porter Premier Homes. So thank you again. Appreciate your support all the time, Joe. Thank you so much. And once again, have a great evening. I look forward to seeing you next week. Check back for the links that I'm going to drop in. Okay? Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.